Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Ireland Bound. And as I said, every so often I'm going to do cultural things. And so I decided, hey, let's look up some things that maybe Ireland does that might not be something everyone else does. So I went online and I found 10 things that it says that Ireland does to celebrate the new year. Uh, Maybe not everybody in Ireland does these particular 10 things, or maybe they do one or two of them. Truthfully, if I did all of them, I'd probably be exhausted. Uh, as you can see, I've got a kitty co-star back here behind me. That is my girl Minnie back there. She was taking a nap and I didn't want to disturb her, so I just decided to let her lay. So she's going to be back here looking pretty for me. She's my set decoration today. But anyway, so today I am going to be doing 10 Irish traditions. Now, these glasses, yeah, sure, they're nice for a party and stuff like that, but to read, I really need to take them off. So, uh, 10 things. First one started out with was have a spring clean in December. It says having a spring clean is a great thing to do at any time of the year, as a tidy space means a tidy mind for all. Maintaining tidiness can help to reduce cortisol levels, help you to focus, and form a feeling of accomplishment. It says all of these emotions are a brilliant way to start in the new year and to maintain a lovely feeling of organization and calm. When you clean, feelings of anxiety and fatigue are reduced while concentrating is improved. A perfect way to begin the year. Now, of course, I'm filming this the morning of New Year's Eve, so hopefully it will be up by this afternoon, maybe evening. But we just, about a week ago, had Christmas. And of course, everyone gets a ton of stuff for Christmas. And sometimes you're thinking, where am I going to put all of this? So, I mean, yeah, it would be a great time to get rid of things. You get a whole bunch of new clothes, maybe take some of your clothes out and donate them to like a homeless organization, or, people in need that you might know. So, I mean, there's some good that can come of it. Maybe, your kids are getting bigger and the younger toys they're not playing with anymore, like, they've outgrown a certain age. So, maybe, finding somewhere to, get rid of them could be a very good and a very useful thing. So I can understand why December could be a good time to clean because, like I said, Christmas, you get all this stuff. So get rid of old stuff and keep your house from getting too cluttered up. So that is the first thing. Okay, number 2 on the list. Remember those who have passed. Now, anybody who has spent much time in America or watched American TV, you know that there's a lot of, especially like your major news outlets, that they'll do a year-end remembrance, remembering the actors, actresses, political figures, things like that that we have lost over the past year. Also, to award shows will have a tendency to do this. Who have we lost since the last award show? Who has died, who has passed away. So, I mean, it's something that we do, as Americans. It is it's a great way to remember. Uh, this past year, actually, in my close family and circle, we have lost three. And of course, as the holidays have just come and on their way out, we remember them. You know, we have that empty seat. The first one I lost this year was my brother. Yes, it was difficult and it was hard. But, sometimes, you can't help it. But remembering them, remembering the laughter, the fun times, the good times, maybe bad jokes someone told all the time. you know, when my brother died, everyone kept talking about his love affair with Dr. Pepper. Seems to be a family trait because if y'all remember my cooking one, I cooked with Dr. Pepper. But yeah, so I mean, we can remember them. My cousin, Kim, her husband passed away. It was another one of those that kind of happened suddenly and quickly. And also, too, it was someone who I had always considered like a cousin. We didn't have blood relation, but our families have been connected to each other for 70 years. My grandparents and her grandparents lived next door to each other. My uncle married her aunt, so we have cousins in common. But a wonderful, sweet, beautiful person who I considered to be closest family named Amanda, she had passed away. So I mean there are those that we remember as the year passes on. We step into a new year and we don't have them by our side. It was difficult with some of them, especially my brother, because I wanted so badly to pick up the phone on his birthday and call and wish him a happy birthday, and he wasn't there. So it's like I said, it's one of those things we tend to think about. It's like I said, especially considering, as I've said, Christmas was just last week. So it's something I think the world does. So that's even though it might have started possibly in Ireland, it has definitely continued on to others. And for any of y'all out there who have lost someone in this past year, my heart goes out to you because, like I said, I know the feeling. I've lost enough loved ones over my life that I know that feeling of loss very well. So, to all of our loved ones who have gone on in this past year, we love you and we miss you. Okay, here we are at number 3. It says in through the front door, out through the back. That one I thought was kind of interesting. The thing here that I have read says when the clock strikes 12 on the 31st of December, those seeking good luck in Ireland are recommended to walk into their house through the front door and leave through the back. This fun tradition helps families to let the old year out that has just passed through the back door and welcome the new year in through the front. Yeah, so I could see everybody lining up. It's like, okay, let's open up the back door. Let's get the old stuff out, and let's open the front door and get the new stuff in. So I mean, that one could be kind of a fun one. I can imagine the kids would probably really enjoy that. But there are things that we do. Like I said, that's one of the cultural things. So for those who need to get rid of the old stuff, push it out the back door and push it into the back garden. There's the backyard, the back fields, whatever you call your back areas back there, and let in the new stuff. You know, let in the new ideas, the new adventures, the new people that will come into our lives. So, out in the front and out the back. Okay, number 4, I found kind of interesting. I'm not sure it's something that I would do, but it's an interesting one. Banging bread on the walls and doors. It's like, okay, I would rather eat the bread. Taking a nice hot piece of bread, and uh, of course, a lot of people like butter, things like that. Taking a nice hot piece of bread and munch on that. Says another New Year Eve Irish tradition that has been passed through generations of Irish superstitions involves baking bread onto the walls and doors of the family home. If you don't have any bread, you can use pots, pans, or wooden spoons. The reason for banging various items onto the walls and doors of the house is a traditional custom to ward off evil spirits whilst also protecting the home and the community from any bad luck. Okay, so like, of course, if you don't want to use bread, it does mention the other things there, pots and pans and all this. I could just see, all these walls with dings on them from, someone with a pot or pan, boom, 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 boom. But I mean, to each their own. That's one of the funs of tradition. Is things that you can do. Um, like here in the South, a lot of people eat black-eyed peas. Other people, they will eat greens or cabbage. Uh, it's different people. They have different things that they do. I had used to have a friend that come over every New Year's, and we'd have some kind of dinner thing, and we'd sit and watch movies all night because it was like our way after the holidays. Because I mean, you have here in America, you have Thanksgiving at the end of November, and then that's like the signal to begin all the Christmas stuff. And so you've got like holiday parties, you got company parties, you got getting ready for Christmas, putting the tree up. I mean, all this stuff that you're doing, it seems like from in America, from at the end of November all the way to, the beginning of January, it is just one craziness after another. So, like I said, we used to just enjoy that time just to sit and relax. So, I mean, like I said, that was us. We didn't bang on anything, but we did enjoy some quiet time. Okay, now this one was an interesting one. Being aware of the first person through the door. Says this New Year's Irish tradition holds a lot of importance for many people in Ireland. The identity of the first person to walk through the door of the family home on the first day of January sets the tone for the rest of the year ahead. So it's kind of like, okay, you know, uh, who's the first person that's going to walk through your door? Is it someone that's happy or someone who's grumpy? I can kind of understand that. You start out the year with someone who's always in a good mood coming into your home. It can kind of, you know, something you can reflect on. You know, if the first person coming through your door is a repair person, that might not be quite so much fun. Constantly having to have someone work on something, it can almost seem like it's overwhelming. So I can see a little bit of that. Do you have grumpiness always coming through your door? Do you have happiness, or is it going to be a long line of repair people? Okay, so anyways, on to the next. Okay, this one is kind of cool here. Using mistletoe, holly, and ivy to find a loved one. Now, of course, over here, I don't know if anybody else does it, but we have a tendency, we'll take mistletoe, yeah, mistletoe, and we'll hang it up somewhere, and then like someone stands underneath it and they're supposed to get a kiss. So I mean, that one I can, kind of see because of the fact of the American tradition of kissing under the mistletoe. Says this New Year's Eve Irish tradition is perfect for those who are looking for someone to start the year off with. This superstition helps those who are looking for love and want to begin the year with hope and excitement for a future relationship. Says those looking to meet their future husband or wife are advised to put sprigs of mistletoe, holly, or ivy under their pillow. This tradition is to help those who put the sprigs under their pillow to have wonderful dreams about their future partner. I kind of like the American idea of hanging it in the doorway, then just waiting for someone to kiss you. Okay, so maybe it hasn't worked for me, but it could. So like I said, there's some things maybe like I said with this one going from Irish to America, the slight differential there. From putting it under your pillow to hanging it in the doorway. Of course, like I said, that's some of the fun of looking into things. Seeing how one culture differs from another. And it's part of the reason why I'm enjoying doing this whole video stuff so much. So who knows? Maybe it might work for someone. Uh, you know, y'all out there that are desperate trying to find someone, find some mistletoe, holly, or ivy, and shove it under your pillow. See if you can have some sweet dreams of someone. Now, if that one works, I really want to know about that. Okay, on to the next. Okay, now this one was really strange to me. Says taking a look at westerly winds, and of course, how would that be important? Says this New Year's Eve Irish tradition is entirely reliant on the weather. Well, duh, westerly winds. Says and the direction the wind might be blowing from. During December and January, we can expect very chilly weather as well as rain, snow, and harsh winds. If the winds come storming in from the west, then the Emerald Isle is in luck. Westerly winds symbolize fortune and a great year ahead for Ireland. However, if the wind comes from the east, Irish people tend to prepare themselves for bad luck. We hope that this New Year's Eve uh, brings lots of westerly winds for all of Ireland. So I mean, like I said, that was kind of a funky, interesting one there. I've never thought about the weather, determining whether you're going to have a good year or a bad year. Most of the time during the winter time, you think of snow and ice and cold weather and all that. And so, it's kind of one of those things, I guess depending on where you live now, some of your more tropical areas, you know, their weather is going to be a bit different. They're not going to maybe have westerly winds. A lot, like I said, a lot of it depends on where you live at, and the air currents for the area where you live. So, who knows? Maybe there's some truth in it. Maybe there's not. Okay, now I'm not skilled in saying, Celtic words, so please forgive me, anyone who can, and I mispronounce this. Oshe na Kata More. Okay, like I said, if I mispronounce that, I apologize. I have had no training in pronouncing words like that. I'm just trying to do it on sight. It says in older times, the last night of the year in Ireland was called Oshe na Kata More, the night of the big portion. During the New Year's Eve festivities, families in Ireland used to treat themselves to a lovely supper and enjoy some food together for the final night of the year. The night of the big portion is an Irish tradition where people eat a big meal to make sure that there is plenty of food for the upcoming year. The idea is that if families begin the new year with delicious food and lots of it, they will set the premise for the rest of the year and make sure that they are always nourished and healthy. Says this tradition custom dates back to a time in Ireland when crop success meant the difference between feast and famine. Spells and incantations were involved to protect the household from danger. Ireland has a pretty big and broad history of superstitious ideas and things of that sort. So, some of the things that they've had, I can kind of see where that's coming from. Uh, it's just, the idea of a big meal. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, me and my mother and the friends that would come over, we always had some kind of food feast thing going on. Some years we would do Mexicans, sometimes we would do pizzas. We would just do different foods as our meal. We'd have snacks all night long. We were eating half the night away. And of course, as I said, the black eyed peas. In fact, when we started doing the black eyed peas here at the house, uh, we started talking about it's like, okay, are we supposed to eat them right before midnight? Are we supposed to eat them right after midnight, the day before, the night before? How's that work? So we we got the funny idea that we wouldn't take any chances. So just a little bit before midnight, we would get a bowl and we would start eating them a little bit before midnight, and we'd finish them up after midnight. That way we were kind of safe on both sides of it. Not that we were superstitious, it was just kind of one of those fun things to do, one of those uh, traditions that somehow get started with you. So that was one of our biggest traditions, was eating black-eyed peas at midnight, literally on both sides of it. It's like start 10 or 11:50, 11:55, and finish it up like 12:05 or something. That way, like I said, we were kind of safe on both sides of it at that point. But of course, that's part of the fun of a tradition. Maybe finding something that works for you and your family, or maybe creating your own new stuff. When you, of course, in households, when you lose new, sorry, my tongue's twisted today. In a household where you lose a loved one, sometimes you guys start a new tradition. So, like I said, it's just one of those interesting things, and it doesn't surprise me that food would come into play, considering, like I said, that we were doing that for years. Okay, now this one was one that I found interesting too. Welcome the ancestors into the home. It says, similar to leaving the latch off on the door, welcoming past ancestors into the house is a New Year's Eve tradition in Ireland. Beliefs and spirits are present in Ireland today, and it is important to respect those who have passed. Some Irish families even open windows, doors, and anything else that can be assessed from outside so that family members who have passed can come into the house. It says the spirits who visit the home can take part in the activities that happened during the year-end celebrations and eat with them too. So it's one of those interesting things. Truthfully, I'm not so sure that I'd want some of my family members coming in and eating with me. Uh, but like I said, it's one of those tradition things. Earlier we had, was it number two? I think it was remembering your family, remembering those who had passed away. And here we are at one now that it's letting them come in. So it would be like opening the door and telling my brother Donnie, my cousin's husband James, and my near cousin Amanda. It's like, oh, y'all come on in. Here we got three empty seats. Y'all sit here. I could just see in my head, through them. I want to sit here. No, I want to sit. No, this is my seat. So I mean, like I said, you can kind of have a little fun with it. If you want to do anything like that. If you don't, pass it on by and keep on going. Okay, last but not least, we get to our very last one, placing coal in the house. It says, and finally, to top off the 10 New Year's Eve Irish traditions list, another common tradition that Irish people enjoy is to place lots of coal around the house. Having coal in the house is a sign that the new year will be prosperous and filled with wealth and abundance. Coal represents warmth, potential, and opportunity too. This means that when people place coal around the house, they are hoping for a fantastic new year. You know, uh, I mean, it's like I said, it's some of those interesting things. Over there, they are more likely to have coal than what we do over here. We don't have coal; we have charcoal briquettes. Maybe some of the places that are more up north and east, they might have more access to coal than what we do down here. In fact, the closest thing to coal that I can think of that I would have access to is this Christmas thing they have. Of course, here in America, they used to say, if you were bad, you get a bag full of coal. Well, someone came up with this little bitty bag. It was probably about like that, and it had pieces of either candy or gum. I can't remember what it is, wrapped in black paper, and it was Christmas coal. That's the closest thing that we would have down here because we just don't have a lot of use for coal down a warmer area like Texas is. Back, like I said, up more towards the north, and especially towards the east, they would definitely have more of a chance of it. In fact, my friend Wally from Wally B26, he every so often he catches trains that come through on his channel that they're loaded down with coal. They'll have coal hoppers, and I'm sitting here looking at it thinking, man, that's a lot of coal. But like I said, he is in an area where there's more access to it. Down here, it's like, yes, that's one of my kitties. That's Miss July coming through. Uh, you gotta love a cat that's orange and black, right? I think she's mad that I grabbed her tail. But anyway, so as I was saying, Wally up there, he has more access to coal. He sees coal up there more than what we do down here. In fact, in my life, I have actually never seen a piece of coal in person. I've seen stuff in movies and on TV, but to be able to pick something up and hold it in my hand and look at it and go, "Oh, so that's a piece of coal?" No, I've never experienced that. Uh, like I said, some people they might, in my area, it's unheard of. I mean, we just don't have a need for it. We don't, really have a big use for it. Uh, Apparently, they do up in the Pennsylvania area where Wally and Kayla both live. So it's, like I said, it's one of those things, we wouldn't have that much access to it. So down here, it really wouldn't make that much sense. But someone somewhere else, they might go, okay, hey, I'm going to go out to the store here and I'm going to buy me a 5 pound bag of coal and I'm going to put it all over the house. And then the wife is probably going to look at him and go, oh, no, you don't. I don't want to clean the coal up later. I've heard that it's pretty messy. Like I said, I have never actually held it in my hand, so I don't know. But I have heard that it is a messy thing to deal with. So it's, of course, going back to the first one, doing a spring cleaning in December after having coal through your house, I can kind of see why you'd want to do a spring cleaning, take and get all that coal out. But anyways, like I said, these were just 10 that I found on the internet. There might be a whole lot more out there. If you're from Ireland, if you're watching this, if there are traditions that you grew up with that aren't listed in the 10 that I had, hey, let me know. Say, hey, whenever I was growing up in wherever you're at, we used to do this or we used to do that. Even if you're here in America and you want to share with me some of your New Year's traditions, things that you would do, things your family would do, things that maybe are a regional thing. Like I said, in the South, we like our black eyed peas. In fact, I've got some soup that I'm making in there that has black eyed peas in it. I figured, hey, why not? So I'm doing a vegetable soup with black eyed peas in it. Uh, like I said, some people, they, you know, they don't like black eyed peas. In fact, up north, they consider it cattle food. But down here, we love them. So, like I said, different areas, they like different things. Uh, I know the big thing for a lot of people is the champagne toast. Everyone likes to get a big glass of champagne and toast in the new year, wearing funny little hats, that have the new year on it, or maybe they're just, a crazy looking hat, maybe putting on a pair of funky little glasses, and walking around like this, some people might like to do things like that. Uh, there are different traditions for different areas. There's different people that like to do different things. Some people want to go out and hang out with all their friends and go to all these parties. Like I said, if you have a New Year's tradition, something that you have done for forever, that you remember doing from the time you were a kid, or maybe you and your husband or your parents do now, like I said, let me know. It'd be fun to find out some of the different things that people like to do for New Year's to get rid of the old and to bring in the new. So, anyways, I hope y'all have a great week, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.